course. It's a tremendous effort, and I know you've come a long way. And this idea you got for the course, I understand that it's nothing you thought up yesterday. It's been several years in the making. So, you know, how did you get here from when you started? And how did you start, in fact?
Well, that's right. This road was pretty long toward this course, and I started working with musicians and athletes, working with performance, optimizing their performance, resilience, both mental and physical resilience, until I found out that the techniques that I'm using are pretty strong and they can actually eliminate asthma. So that's what was my first experience, asthma and depression too. So I was
asthma and depression. That's a nasty combination.
Exactly. So I started working with a technique created by Dr. Buteyko, which is that's the Russian doctor that created a technique for a re-establishment of normal health through optimization of automatic breathing patterns. Okay, that's a powerful technique, really, because it's measurable, it's fully measurable. You can see the progress, and these measurements, they are bound to normalization of pH in the body, of regulation of pH. And that's a powerful thing because you see the pH and the hormones and how the enzymes work and everything, it's interconnected and interdependent. So in this way, we can have a tap into regulating and adjusting how our body really works, and our body's ability also to recover from chronic disease. That was the first experience, really.
Okay, but take a breathing. That was obviously where your starting point was. Take a breathing, but I guess that you also found some other variables, some other factors that factor in on people's health. Exactly.
But you see, the breathing was the first factor because I could see that that's in some way it's the easiest to access because we all are breathing.
It's the most immediate thing, isn't it? Because if we can do without food, we can do without exercise. Exactly. We certainly can't do with breathing.
Yeah, and then I saw when I started working with people that have different conditions, ill health conditions, I found out that we can create a powerful synergetic effect by combining how we acquire energy in the body, not only by breathing but also by food, and then working with how we distribute energy, mental resilience, physical and immune resilience. So I combined all of these aspects into a single system, and also worked very much with the how can we establish a process, a very strong process, because in our world we are really working very much with target oriented. We have targets. We have to describe our targets. Are very much have a very hard management, everyday management, and everything like that. But I found out actually that if you work like that, it's hard to achieve good results because it's counterproductive, because all this kind of very, very hard steering, hard management, it triggers fear. And this fear, is really counterproductive to the progress of healing. So I found out that the better thing is really to make a transition from the target-oriented way of working to a real process-oriented way of working. And that's the main, also the central part of the course that we're going to start now.
Okay, you made a a fairly fundamental discovery when you started extending this protocol to people who had serious or terminal illnesses, didn't you? I mean, this is how we've come to the lifestyle course through your experience, your very fundamental experience, very deep experience with terminally ill cancer patients, for example.
Exactly, and it happened by coincidence. For me, cancer, like for the most, therapists and practitioners, it's like a taboo. It was always a taboo, and it still is for many. Because when we say cancer and healing from cancer, we always immediately think about chemotherapy and radiation and all of these protocols that are accessible for through modern medicine. And the self-healing there has always been a kind of not quite serious way of working with cancer in many people's eyes, at least, because the cancer is the king of all illnesses, and we have we respect it very much. The people that work with cancer, and the word is like it triggers the biggest fear in us.
Absolutely. Well, that's the point, isn't it? The fear stops us using self-help, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what the official medicine also says, that it's the only possibility to work by the protocol that are defined by the official medical profession. And when I started working with my first client with cancer, I found out that there are many directions in the different in modern research and in cancer that goes beyond those two techniques of basically chemotherapy and radiation. And there's also many different possibilities working with, for example, with optimizing oxygenation on the cellular level, things like that. And then I understood that, and also nutrition, are working with adjusting glucose levels, insulin levels, adjusting stress response, and how stress response inhibits nutrition, actually. And that's a very interesting area by itself. So I started using those techniques, and I got trained, I got certification in Buteyko technique, international certification. And then
several years ago.
Yeah, and then I started working with a diet, applying ketogenic diet, therapeutic version of a ketogenic diet.
Ketogenic.
Exactly, and there's also a huge body of evidence, both in the alternative world, but also now in the world of medical research, that are using both this oxygenation of the cellular level to prevent thriving of cancer cells, and ketogenic nutrition too.
The theory about oxygenation of the cancer cells. You know, whenever you read or hear anything about cancer, they talk about genetics. Yeah. So is that idea of the oxygenation, is it a new idea, or was it an idea that sort of got sidetracked because of the genetic research?
Yeah, but that's an interesting question, because you see, cancer, a lot of modern science shows that cancer is actually sometimes also a genetic disease, but mostly is a metabolic disease.
But like diabetes or Alzheimer's or something. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the paradigm shift, which is a very big shift is happening now. And as I see, actually, now I'm reading a lot of research every day, and I see that the research the last 3 years, for example, 2014, 15, and 16, there's a lot of very new directions and a lot of very new items that are being researched. For example, now there's a lot of research going on in how insulin is produced in the body. So we now
through the pancreas, isn't it? That's the pancreas is the only organ that produces.
Exactly, that's what we've been thinking all the time, and now we find out the last 5 years there's a lot of research going on. That, for example, in Alzheimer's, especially, that is proving by experimental and in both in animals and humans, that insulin is also synthesized in the brain, directly in the brain cells, in the mitochondria of different brain cells, and this is totally different. Oh, we have vice bud.
Tell me, Misha, you know, when you say metabolic disease, you know, when I read stuff about metabolic disease, when you talk about metabolic disease, you know, I immediately think of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? Are you sort of implying here that all these things are interrelated? There's a common factor through cancer, neurodegenerative diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. There's a common thread that can actually be affected by our lifestyle. Is this what your research has shown?
Yeah, good question, and exactly that's what we see very often in our clients. That when we get clients with some kind of illness or condition that have been on the way for a very long time, it's always a whole bouquet of conditions. Cardiovascular disease, hypertension, pre-diabetes or diabetes, obesity, and very often it results with cancer, and that's how we get the terminal cancer clients. Very often we have to work taking into account many different conditions and many different symptoms, and that's why working multifunctionally with different kind of protocols, combining them together, that's the strength, because that's how we really work, and that's very often that's what we call systemic inflammation. When we have this bouquet of condition, and it's a metabolic disease, it's very often it's because of lifestyle and the cumulative effect of bad lifestyle. It results in chronic inflammation, and according to a different kind of genetic code.
Yeah.
I mean, each of us, it triggers different kinds of symptoms.
Yeah, that's true. You know, you talk about the bouquet. You know, some people might say that we can't help our lifestyle. You know, we eat the food that we see in the shops. We are clearly affected by the environmental toxins and pollutants. We have to make a living. We have to make a buck. We're under stress. We sit in cars, or we sit at the computer all the time. So what you're saying, that all these things are like a conspiracy that's triggering these metabolic diseases, and if that's true, then have you got an answer for us?
Well, if I hear you right, you are talking about different kind of stressors in outside, right, in the environment. Yeah. So that's right.
Yeah, and it's just that we people could argue that they're not necessarily to blame. That this is this is the way it is. This is modern living, you know, as we're subject to you know, the food that we get. We're subject to the working environment, you know, sitting in a cubicle, sitting at a screen, not moving, not getting any natural sunlight and things like this. We have all the pollutants, and we have all the stress, you know, the stress from the family, stress from the boss, and everything like this. So we're you know, the human body and mind has never been under so much stress than it is now, and I doubt if the genes can catch up in one generation, seeing as they've been 2.5 million years underway.
Exactly. And that's a very good question, and that's a very big problem. But because we have different kind of stress that really affects us very much. That's environmental stress, pollution. That's psychological stress. You know, from our working place, some of the family problems to pay the rent. I mean, economical problems. So there's very much stress. And so on and so on. Then we have actually also stress from not moving enough. That's a very, very big stress we put on the muscles, on our on the whole structure, on the body structure. That's a very big stress.
But we also have a lot of stress from actually trying to deal with the problem. Because you said about the target orientate, you know, you know, just after Christmas, when in the Western world at least, when we're eating all this Christmas food and we're sitting there and everything, we said, right, on January the 1st, I'm going to do something about this. I'm really going to do this, which, you know, we really look at our bodies and we look at our, you know, and we say, right. And January 1st comes and we do it, and we've got a goal, you know, like in 1 month's time, we're going to lose some weight. We're going to do this. I'm going to be.
Exactly. That's
so where do we go wrong?
That's the expectations. And that's what really makes, hi, Bud. You're welcome.
I'm back again.
Very nice.
You're welcome.
Nice to see you.
So that's true, though, isn't it? The New Year's resolution is also adding to the stress.
The expectations really are taxing very, very much in our nervous system, on the stress levels, and also because we are expecting reaching some good levels of health pretty fast, and that is not possible. That is not possible because very often we've been underway. Eliminating all the good signs of health
all our lives,
exactly,
all our lives.
For many years, by wrong nutrition, by
wrong breathing. You mentioned
wrong breathing, actually, and
wrong exercise.
Exactly, wrong pattern of movement. All of these things are discriminating very much our immunity. And, you know, we are not, you know, in our body is very, very smart because there's many mechanisms of detoxifying, for example, that are built into our body. And
if it's overwhelmed, though, if it's overwhelmed by modern life, then the result must be illness.
Exactly. We are not giving our body a possibility to clear from the stress, to detox all the garbage, and because of a very sedentary lifestyle. And that's a part of it, because if we really want to heal, we have to start moving, and that implies also some power of will. So we have to work on many different levels, and that's what I really believe we have to understand, that it's a very multifunctional thing. But do you have any questions or ideas?
Me or Bud? Go on, Bud.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. Misha, so you know, if I'm, you know, got it right, you've developed over several years some protocol or protocols where you combine these things and everything, and you know, what you're saying to me is it risks stressing me, because I think, wow, you know, I got to do this, I got to do this. But as I understand it, you know, I look at it, I see a 50-week course, a 50-week course, and the first thing is 50 weeks. What the hell, 50 weeks? But are you saying that we should, to rectify the problem, we really had to take it slowly and work on a process rather than working towards a goal? Is this what you're saying?
Exactly. That's why I was thinking a lot, because, you know, the normal, when you are subscribing to a course, you are like taking a couple of weekends, maybe 5 weekends, things like that. And normally courses are not so long. I tried to make 10 weeks courses. It was good, but then I started working one-to-one with people that have serious health problems. And I saw that in order to make the change that is stable, we need to make a lifestyle change that is stable. We need more time. We need more time. We need much more nudging.
Nudging.
More, nudging, actually.
I mean, and, push.
And also, there was a lot of research showing that in the fields of optimal performance, in the fields of peak performance, both for athletes, for artists, that the real mastery, or both the mastery and very deep change craves a long time. So we need long time, and we need to go on and on doing the same things, accepting the slowness of the process. That's also something that cares, that you are not reacting all the time. On, for example, you are not reaching your goals fast enough, and that's a very, very big problem, because it creates stress in itself. And that's what
that's what I was thinking.
That's what I really, and I saw another thing that I saw in my clients, both with diabetes, chronic fatigue syndrome, with different kind of cancers, that the real change is happening in around a year.
A year.
It takes about a year, because it takes a year to really understand, to learn the protocols, to learn to ask all the questions, and to really kind of cement, right?
Yeah.
The daily routines. You have to, and it takes time. It takes really, really long time. So I thought, if I'm going to make a course where I'm going to present my techniques and try to teach my techniques to the people that are not terminally ill, or not like ill big time, but start feeling some problems. They start, for example, feeling that they are aging.
You do this immediately when you start feeling overweight, for example, and you start getting this. You start getting this gut and thinking,
and when it's not too late, maybe you're obese, or you're pre-diabetic, or you have some difficulties breathing. So I just wanted to make those techniques accessible for a lower price, for people that don't have very severe symptoms. And the people that have severe symptoms and have very severe conditions, they have to book me on one-to-one basis. And I still run this kind of clients. I don't have many, because it's very extensive work every day. So I cannot have more than 10 people at a time. But this is not for them. This course is going to be for people that are not really sick yet, but they start feeling problems.
But you believe very much in as opposed to going to a doctor where you say, doctor's wrong with me, and he says, you've got this or that, and we're going to try and we'll give you this pill or that pill, and we're going to try and dampen that down. You believe very much in explaining. Part of the process is actually explaining the physiology.
Exactly, and that's the a very, very interesting and very crucial issue, because That's not a course for everybody. It's only a course for people that really want to take responsibility for their own health in their own hands. And that's the crucial part.
Well, I think people would if they only knew where to start.
Excuse me?
I think people would if they only knew how to start. I mean, the trouble with with diets is is that people got the idea that they if they starve themselves, then they'd lose some weight. And I've done it. Everyone's tried it. You do that and you starve yourself for 6 months, and you lose some weight. And as soon as you come off the diet, it just goes on again. It's a crazy circle because you don't really understand what's going on and how that fits in with the other things.
Exactly. That's why the working with the physiology of human health, that's the central part of my work. I really want my clients, my pupils, to understand the physiology, and it's a huge area of of experience, of learning, and it's evolving all the time. So it's not easy, but it's still possible because we start with some general overview, and the structure of our weekly work is following. We on Tuesday, my clients get a package of consisting of 3 videos. 10 minutes video about the overview of some kind of a health issue, and then 10 minutes about physiology on the desk, or how do you call it, on a whiteboard. On a whiteboard, when I'm talking about physiology, and then about 3 minutes video about exercise. So every week, this package on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays we have an audio file with about 10 minutes nudging. It's like a mental training. I'm talking about 10 to 12 minutes, and that's to promote understanding what we're doing, understanding of the process, understanding of how do we evolve with our power of will, the energy pool. That power of will is very, very different days. But I am interested in helping my clients to work every week. But I still understand that the power of will, especially with people that have ill health already, it's very, very dynamic. When I say that, sometimes they can train, some other days they just have no power, and that's why I really work a lot with mental training. Okay. And then on next Monday we have an online session like this, where we answer the questions and we learn from each other because people have a very different experience. So the learning process will be great. I look so much forward to this. Okay.
Now, from my perspective, I've looked at a lot of things, and we're in the realm of complementary alternative medicine, and sometimes you come across something and suddenly the wheels fall off, because then they turn around and say, and because Jupiter is at a juxtaposition with the moon, your health will improve. And you think, oh, wait a minute, where are we going with this? Or you see something where you they say, oh, all you have to do is take this little pill of compressed fruit and everything will be well. Okay, but I understand, although we're in complementary medicine, I understand that you're taking a very cool engineering perspective, and you're actually using the research that's available right now.
The core thing about this course, that we are working with Jupiter in any position, and that's the you really have to understand this, because there's no alternative, to a real understanding of physiology. In this way, it's not an alternative, because I'm working only with research. You can see it in my site. I'm citing all the research about breathing, about nutrition, about neurodegenerative disease, and the newest research in neurodegenerative disease, Alzheimer's and Parkinson. And we're not working with these diseases in this course, but But if people are interested, they can always see them and look at the modern research, and that's what I'm learning from every day. So I look at it as the as engineer, because what is the how the engineer works? A good engineer work by looking at the symptoms and trying to understand what are the common denominators that are pushing this problem.
Yeah.
And then we try to find a solution that will try to reverse from abnormality to normality. It sounds easy, but yeah.
Well, how does, okay, let's take conventional medicine. How does your approach differ from the...
Conventional medicine isn't medicine, it's a religion.
Is it? Okay, that's interesting.
It's a total religion. It's a total cult and a religion. I don't want to go around to it too much, but it's a complete cult and religion all over the world. It isn't science, it's a religion.
It reminds me of the...
So you do the best you can.
Yeah.
You do the best you can to sort things out.
Yeah.
But the really great people who are doing good work, they are either killed or knocked out.
You say killed?
Or
Killed.
Killed, yes, killed. Murdered, yes.
Wow.
Murdered. Or they are eradicated by means of the power that people like the AMA and the pharmaceuticals are capable of doing. And they've done it over and over again. They continue to do it.
Yeah.
And fortunately, Misha is small, so they don't care about Misha.
No, he's not that small. He's about
They don't
he's
care
about,
much.
he's,
They don't
about,
care.
he's at least 5'5". No.
Well, they tried to kill Buteyko on several occasions.
Is that right?
And they've done that to other people as well. If you want to look at two horrendous ones, you could look at the history of W.F. Koch, who basically was able to cure cancer back in the early part of the 20th century. And then you can look at the horrible history of Kobayashian, Andrew Ivy, one of the greatest doctors, acknowledged by people all over the world, and completely squashed because they couldn't grab his patents and make money from him, which Ivy wasn't interested in.
Yeah.
So it's when you understand that, you see that the stuff that you read, the research that you will read, is basically funded by large pharmaceutical companies or people interested in making money. They are not interested in science. They are basically religion, a set of religious cult leaders. And that's the way it is. I mean,
no, I always liken doctors to the way priests were in the Middle Ages in Europe. The priests had the power because they spoke a language that people didn't understand, and they always threatened everyone with, if you don't do this, then you'll go to the devil. Now it's, if you don't do this, you're going to die of cancer.
And I think also the part of
actually, you're also going to lose your license.
Yeah.
I don't condemn doctors. Doctors are good people who went into the profession. Most of them that I know went into because they really wanted to have an effect on helping people with their lives and their health. They did. Yeah. But what they don't recognize is when they go into it, they are going into a tyrannical religion. And when they find out, it's a little too late.
Well, I think what Misha is doing here, though. I mean, we're not, he's looking at lifestyle, and I think even in the United States, but even in Europe, I think everyone has the right, the birthright to live their life and eat the food and do the exercise and everything that they want to do. I think you should strive to be independent and get out of the clutches of the medical industry. And I think, that's why I congratulate Misha on this course, because it gives a chance for people to literally take their lives into their own hands.
Exactly. And you see that I want to comment about the doctors. And that's not only the problem for the doctors, that's also a problem for all of us in this world, because what we don't have time. And the doctors, because they are involved so much in these work with the clients and they know what kind of medicine that works, and like that they are not really the most of them. They are not following in the latest research, and that's why many of them, they are reluctant. You know, that's the part of a problem, because they don't have time. I spoke with a lot of doctors, and they have 12 minutes for a client.
Yeah.
Then it's good.
So it's just see the symptoms of the illness.
That's very unsatisfying for them. That's a very, very hard situation to be. Just as Bud mentioned, that they are in their profession, and they have to accept the rules of the game. And the rules of the game is that you are using the tools that you are given, and the tools you are given, that's the medicine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the general public has been led to believe that you go to a doctor and you basically get a pill or a treatment, mechanicalistic treatment to cure your illness. And it's a great education. As you said, this course won't be for everyone. Hopefully, this course is for people who can think for themselves. And of course, not everyone can think for themselves.
That's what it is. I wrote it in the page. This course is not for everyone. It's for you that want to take responsibility for your health in your own hands. Exactly.
I have to go, Michel. So it's been enjoyable. I'll look at the recording afterwards, and I appreciate, as you know, I deeply appreciate the integrity with which you approach everything, and in whatever way I can support you as you go forward, I will be most happy to do.
Thank you very much, Bud.
Nice meeting you, Steve. Nice meeting you, Steve.
Nice to meet you.
With you both.
Thank you very much, Bud. See you. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye. Of course, it's a problem it's not easy to criticize the medical industry, but I just think we have to accept the status quo and say to people, listen, so you can either go that path, you can either remain in that situation, or you can move beyond that. And what we're doing, we're opening a door for you to move beyond that. We're not against the medical profession. I mean, in many cases, they do a good job. I mean, God forbid that any of my family gets in an accident where they have to be rebuilt by surgery and what have you. But, for that point of view, I think doctors, hospitals, they do a fantastic job. Yeah. But when it comes to these lifestyle diseases, I think they can do a better job.
Well, that's for sure. Doctors do a fantastic job, and the doctors that I know too, I think they are, and I know that they are in this profession because they were burning for this.
And all the support people, the nurses and the orderlies, and
exactly, and the nurses doing a fantastic job together. So the people that are working in this branch, they are doing their best in the times that are not easy because.
They've got budget constrictions.
The budget constrictions.
Time, they've got to be more productive. It's all about quantity rather than quality.
Exactly. We call it optimization. It's a very nice word for this.
Reorganization, optimization.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very nice words.
The bureaucracy and the data collection and everything. I mean, most nurses are spending so much time just putting data in computers. This concept of big data, which would make things better. But we're getting away from that. So basically, what we're saying is that anyone who joins the course will feel themselves part of a community where they will get encouragement, because encouragement is a very important thing here, isn't it?
Exactly, and we're gonna learn from each other also, and this is gonna be great. People will be able to write at me to ask questions.
And you'll basically be treating everyone on a one-to-one. Well, not one-to-one, because as I say, you've got limitations. There's only one of you, and there's other people who are actually in life-threatening situations. But we will actually but we'll encourage people to state their thoughts and their fears, if they have fears and what have you, and what's happening to their bodies, because. I know that yeah, especially with the ketogenic diet and the breathing, that it's not a magic bullet. You have to put in some work, and there is an adjustment period where if you were going to do it yourself, you'd be downright scared in some situations. You need to be able to talk to someone and say, listen, what's happening to my body? I don't understand what's happening, and you need that encouragement to say everything's okay. You're absolutely on course here.
Exactly, and this possibility will be here every week.
That'd be great.
Live, and both live will be able to ask questions in live sessions. Every Monday. Actually, a 1 hour session. 1 hour session. And then write also feedback. So I'm looking so much forward to start, and it was a very long path towards this course. And now it looks like all the technical problems. We are through all the technical problems, and it works, and we're making videos. It's like that's a very, very good big work, and I wouldn't be able to do it without my partners, without you, Stephen, without Karsten. We are filming every week, and we have 450 videos.
That's right.
450 videos in 3 languages.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs doing it. But
we have 150 audio files.
Okay, tell me, just so that the people, obviously we haven't got many people on, but I think you're going to make this available. Just go through the sign up process again, and you know how that works, and so people understand what's going on.
Because it's 3 languages, and there's total the same material but in different languages.
That's good. I don't have to do it in Russian then.
In Russian, I don't know yet, but well.
Okay, but
you are learning very, very fast. I know. So we have a sign up button. For
on a page. So we go to sakharoff.com.
We have 3 pages. We have a page for Danish course, for English
so that's under the menu item course. So we go to sakharoff.com. We look for course, and then we choose which language, and then at the bottom of that page. Then we click on a button, and then that takes us to a sign up. But it's not a membership or anything. We just sign up to get the videos and everything.
Well,
we don't have to join we're not joining a club and such.
No. That's everything is automatic. And we will have lifetime access to these videos.
Okay.
Actually, so you will be able to use it also afterwards.
It's sort of a rolling thing. It's a rolling thing. So it's not like there's no deadline. There's no like I've got to sign up next week to be a part of this course. I can sign up.
No, it's rolling, and you will always start the course. You will always get a welcome mail, and the mail will say that you will start course on the next Tuesday. For everybody, it starts on Tuesdays, where the first videos are sent. So it starts.
So how much? It's basically a monthly
that's
payment.
A monthly payment. They exactly. Okay. So you subscribe, and
and how much is that at the moment?
It's like 80 pounds, British pounds.
80 British pounds, or how many Danish kroner is it?
It's 699 Danish kroner.
699 Danish kroner. I'll just quickly work that out and find out what it is.
The Russian course, it's in euros, actually.
Okay, so 600 and...
the same price, the same price. But the other thing I just want to mention, that also the people that would like to have some kind of certificate, after this year, you will be able to sign in for a half a year extension course, so you can get a certificate how to work with other people with this course.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So you can actually, it could be a source of income in the future. But just
25 years, 25 weeks course after
post-course, postgraduate.
You have to.
Okay, but just seeing here, it works out about $107 a month, which I don't think is too bad for what's being offered here. You know, because it's you know, to be able to just change your life and live a better life. I mean, in the States, if you can get off a few of those medications and you haven't got private health insurance, you know, the price would be covered, in my opinion. Just if you could just get off a few of the medications, the course is paid for, no problem. Of course, that doesn't quite work like that in Europe, but even so, you know, it's about £75 a month. It's good value for money because the knowledge empowers you to be able to take charge of your health. And incidentally, I found out that making my own food and making my own keto food is far cheaper than going out and buying some prepared, you know, ready-made crap in a supermarket. So keto diet is a cheap diet because you know, the fat cuts of meat are not the ones with the biggest price on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good stuff.
We're going to work really extensively with the diet too.
Yeah.
With how to actually, a lot of different aspects of it, how to cook, how to choose, what to buy, what to expect of satiety. Well, yes, we are going to work with also what is fasting, intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting, yeah.
Caloric restriction. We're going to work with different kind of breathing exercise, both for different life situations, when you're walking, when you're running, when you're biking, when you're driving a car, when you're washing the dishes, when you are taking a bath. So it's going to be very, very practical. And how do you do the immunity exercise? How do you do the lymphatic? How do you optimize the lymph movement in movement, not by massage, but actually by moving right?
Wow.
So that's a very, very interesting thing. So we're going to work with mental aspects of movement, mental aspects of the process.
Yeah.
Very, very practical things, the same things that I used to teach in courses for athletes and the courses for artists.
So when we call this is called the Lifesaver course. It's based on the experience of actually saving the lives of people who are under with these very threatening diseases. So I think people will be able to understand that after doing this course, they will start to realize which direction their lives were going and their health was going, and they'll realize that this has been a lifesaver. So there we go. By the way, 93, about 94 euros is the price in euros at the current exchange rate. But that doesn't change.
No, I made the prices are at the site. When you push the button, you see the price actually.
Okay, you pay by credit card and whatever.
By credit card, yes.
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and the prices are cheaper than what you are saying right now.
Are
because
they?
The calculations already they are on the site.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be. I really believe it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a life changer for our students.
Well, I just want to say that I've been following your protocols on a sort of semi-official basis because we haven't had the data and or rather for a person who has not been in a life-threatening situation, you haven't really encouraged so far the recording of the data. But now, you know, I'm on that, and the first consequence for me was that I had a rapid weight loss, which you know, and the energy I've got now, you know, is fantastic. But now I've made it more formal, and I don't mind saying that it takes willpower and it takes application, but I can see little by little these changes and these improvements. I mean, this morning I did my first intermittent fasting where I didn't eat until 11:30, so I didn't eat for 16 hours. And the amazing thing was I wasn't hungry, you know. And I've been eating until 5 o'clock thing. So I had what have I had? I've had about a 6 hour window of eating.
Yeah.
And you know, that's where I want to be. And the feeling, in fact, I feel really elated by doing this. It's an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
And once you know the physiology and you know that your body is actually eating up all the bad free radicals and everything in your body, which is a proven fact.
Exactly.
You know, it gives you a good feeling. So
And
I'm very happy.
How it works, and when you know how it works, you can also start really training being much better to listen to your body's signals.
Well, you can talk to yourselves.
Exactly. What is actually telling you. And that's the two things that are major in the course. And what we lack most. The first thing we lack understanding of human physiology, because there's a lot of different opinions, and there's a very old fashioned views on the health very often that are promoted both in the media and in
by governments.
In the environment. And the second thing that we lack very much, that's the sensitivity. Because when we learn sensitivity to listen and to understand the messages that our body is trying to send us, and then we start to understanding it in the light of human physiology, that's where the real healing can begin. Because we start, understanding what's happening. When you understand what's happening, and then you understand the process you are in, you will pay much more attention, and
Absolutely.
you will do your best in much bigger extent than otherwise.
That's great. Anyway, Misha, I think we wrap it up there. Been on for an hour, so that's good. And you're going to put this video out. I'm sure it's be very useful for people to understand and see that it's a cozy atmosphere when people come on every week. We'll invite people in. People will be able to participate in the chat. And it being one of the two open seats, and join us and tell us their experiences and ask their questions.
This interface, that's how it's going to be, and you will be able just to listen to us, or to write some questions in the chat, or if you want, take open seat. There's 2 open seats. That's fantastic possibility.
Yeah, it is.
So we're gonna all of us, we're gonna learn. From the process together, because I'm learning every day from my clients, and that's I love it. I love what I'm doing, and I would like to really give you an inspiration for your life.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you very much, Misha.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Good luck
Steve.
with the course. Bye.
Bye.